New visions right here. That's right. I go by the name of Body of the Life Force. Check this out. I like to do these things right here like
Hallo zusammen, wir sind jetzt hier am Schloss Lenzburg. Wir interviewen eine gute alte Rap-Grösse, Afu-Ra.
Afu-Ra in the house, what's up, what's up?
You introduce yourself to the WeAreChange.
Yeah, hey everybody out here at WeAreChange. This is New York's own Afu-Ra, the body of the life force. That's a translation of the name. Afu is the body, Ra is the life force. Like you said, I'm out here in Lenzburg, here to talk about some issues on how we all can make a change, you know? Keep it locked right here, yeah.
Pure microphone magic. Carbon MC
When it comes to music, like a lot of people have asked me similar questions, like my expression and what music means to me is exactly that. It's an expression, it's an outlet, and I would say coming into music, just kind of doing it, having fun with it. You know, how I got to the point where I looked at it like, yeah, music is something that I love because it helps me. Again, it's an outlet to the frustration you cannot sometimes express. In other ways, you get that off your chest or you relieve yourself by doing music, and everything from performing on stage to writing songs to being in the studio, and it's like that. That's why I love music, and that's what it is.
Soul assassin. Afu-Ra.
To me, my understanding of rap music, since it began in the early 70s until now, rap music has become, like for me, millions of others, it has become, you know, that expression, and it has became a new way for people to get along and to congregate together for mankind to come as one through hip hop, whether it's what we like, whether it's what we don't like. You know, it's a way that it's a communication platform. Even the way we live, you know, people outside of America, Americans who are outside of Europe, or people in Asia, we kind of all adopted a way of living through hip hop, whether it's listening to the beats every day, to becoming DJs, practicing the art of DJing, beatboxing, the style of dress, people who it's become a way of life. Sometimes it seems a little directionless as far as where hip hop is leading the people, but the fact that it's keeping people together and it's keeping people a part of something, I think it's doing a good thing. We just need to besides make money out of it and have a good time and such, how could I say, a form of entertainment that makes us feel good. Hip hop has yet to do what I think is going to go down in history for. Is that business is going on, and hip hop is a very big business, and through hip hop, a lot of people have become employed. It has become a huge percent of most nations' income, or their instead of income, but the how people are able to survive and how people are able to feed their families and feed themselves. So hip-hop has become a number one force in this capitalistic world that we live in, and it is because of the world being capitalistic. Capitalistic societies, you know, they home in on what can make money. So being that there are so many people into hip-hop, doing many things, it has so many different parts of the art form. It's a way of life, everything from fashion to just the technology, the machinery that it takes to make hip-hop. We need people to make them. so people can use them in places that people pay rent to actually be there. So hip-hop is a huge force in the capitalistic world we live in, as far as, you know, how much money it generates.
My fighting stance too strategic. No shadows on my kicks, too much cheat. Horrific, to be specific. I'm coming through with jujitsu. Bone crushing, bone breaking.
Developed by KRS-One, you know, was something to educate people beyond hip-hop, outside of hip-hop, you know, what's going on, you know, state of politics in other countries, how America and different nations around the world affect other smaller nations, and many different topics, Temple of Hip-Hop, everything from health, how to be healthy, how to eat healthy, how to spend your money on things that are for the betterment of mankind, whether it's the clothes are made in not in sweatshops, but made where people are paid the right wages, and the garments and things like that are coming from good sources. I mean, the Temple of Hip Hop, it's all about that. It's a temple, and KRS-One set it up so that it can help people spiritually, mentally, physically, and at the same time allow hip-hop to do something more than make money and have people walking around not confused but with no direction, because hip-hop leads so many, but leading them where? And I think KRS developed it because of that.
Yes, I like the rhymes.
All of us are born with the miraculous ability to determine the direction.
Being who you are, who you want to be every day, and not letting outside forces make you want to change yourself, unless it's to change you to be better, or to be changing you for the better good.
Poetic and athletic. You know I get down and dirty when it's time to set it. I'm tearing through, clean your scene like ammonia. I drown ya.
Taking it back to the roots. Again, it's something that, depending on which context you're using it in, taking it back could mean with hip hop, like, let's take it back to the days of when the beats weren't so overproduced, or, you know, huge production behind hip-hop tracks. Some people mean that when they say, you know, keep it real, or let's take it back, you know, with this hip-hop. Mean taking it back to where you came from, taking it back to your roots, as far as your mother country, where you're originally from, where your family members are from, or taking it back, like, let's take it back to, you know, like when I first started out, my first album, like what I was doing then. You know, I was in the dojo, you know, I was hanging around certain people. I was in East New York, Brooklyn. So, yeah, like I would always want to take it back, you know, like where I'm from, my hood, my neighborhood, being around those certain people. Yeah, the term let's take it back is a famous track. What we're gonna do right here is we're gonna go back in the time, you know. It's like, to go back, sometimes people, they want to draw from, you know, how it was in the good old days, you know what I mean, and feel that way now, you know, in the present, and you can take it back and carry that into the future. So, you know, Afu-Ra's always taking it back, you know. Each time I sit down and write my tracks, write my lyrics, you know, I attempt to take it back where it was when I made the first album, or when I did certain things, you know, where I felt, you know, a sense of I accomplished something. So, yeah, let's continue to take it back.
We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. Alright? Body of the life force. Check it, y'all.
Self. And I believe in self is the most powerful force in the universe, next to the force that created all things. But even within the force that created all things, I'm the physical representation of that, walking the planet Earth, and my duty to manipulate, you know, what's here in front of us in the world to the best of my ability to benefit myself and not hurt others, and hopefully that can benefit mankind. That's my spirituality. my spirituality is Afu-Ra, the body of the life force. You know, to be neutral, to be equal with the things that I feel I'm on the same level with. Which my spirituality is very diverse, and you know, I don't pray to no gods. You know, I don't worship no idols. I worship self, and I worship myself, where I try to do the right things with my body, with my mind. Since I'm very into music, with my music, to channel some type of positivity through my music. This is a form of my spirituality, to connect with people through my music, with the vibe that's not connected to my spirit. Not let the depressional things that's happening in the world, like poverty and homelessness, and that people still don't see each other as brothers and sisters. You know, I keep myself on an Afu-Ra level, so I don't let that get to me. Like, people have nervous breakdowns because they can't deal with the pressure of life, or that they don't have things the way they want them all the time, you know. So since I realized that, part of me every day is civilize my uncivilized self, you know. So if I start feeling like that, no, I gotta put myself on a mental mountaintop, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, people who ask me, you know, how I do it, and I've been doing my career for the years I've been in making albums and tracks, and all that they can tell me positive, and they ask me, you know, how I maintain that is by having my own level of spirituality and keeping myself on a very positive mental level, you know. At the same time, physically transcend that to the physical and try to be involved with sports and being involved with what's going to keep my juices just like vibrating, and all in the direction of positivity. And you know, that's my spirituality. Bob Marley, you know, people like Sizzla, other Rastafaris that I know through the music business, got my mind set to focus a little bit on Rastafari culture. Rastafarians, they take the oath of a Nazarite. So at one time, I was in church and I was studying Christian religion, and Jesus Christ was a Nazarite, you know what I mean? And the oath of a Nazarite is to never cut their hair. So that's why Rastas, they don't cut their hair. But the oath of a Nazarite is to walk the earth and be as positive as you can be, and to help others, and to defend the weak and the sick, and to basically walk that you doing everything for the benefit of the world. And this would represent God, how the Christians broke it down, to walk as the peacefulest, most uplifting, righteous man or woman you could, is to walk in the path of God. These things, without the religious antidotes, they represent positivity. Buddhism, Buddhists also hold a faith like that, to be one with the universe. The oath of Buddhist monks is to be flowing with the universe. This is why they don't want to be of the world, because they feel that the world, with all the pollution and the mechanical devices and so much technology, that we are not one with the universe anymore. So Buddhists practice, you know, to be neutral, to follow the flow of the universe, and to live off of the land, and to be one with it. So this promotes positivity. So I try my best, you know, that, you know, from how my mother taught me, you know, coming up, you know, everything that's written or everything that people say is not going to always be the best for you. But once you start knowing yourself and knowing what you want out of life, then you can extract what's the most positive, or the positive things about different religions, about different people, our friends, even different family members. Take the positive qualities that you see, how they can influence you to be better or to just coexist in line with everything. That's kind of what I do, you know?
Pure microphone magic, carbon MC straight up talk.
Basically, consciousness is to be aware. And right now, in the times we live in, we all need to be aware of many, many different things. But of course, each person is their own. But for me, you know, I'm at the point right now where I'm really trying to keep my mind like aware that we all brothers and sisters. And you know, whether you live in New York, where I'm from, or in Iceland or Japan or Switzerland, where we are now, you know, none of these so-called world leaders are really trying to really do something about that, you know. And I think in terms of changing the world, in terms of making our future brighter, in terms of connecting man to man, without this type of speech, you know, spoken by our world leaders, it keeps the people in the darkness. That little babies starting school and kindergarten, these are one of the first things they need to be educated about, that, you know, the human race is one race. And as a human race, there are many different tribes within the human race. However, we all come from the same seed. We all come from the population did not start with all the tribes of man that we see. They started from one tribe. No matter which tribe it was, where it was at, we all share a certain brother and sisterhood within our DNA. So the fact that these so-called world leaders like Obama and whoever's here, and I don't pay too much attention to politics, but as far as all the world leaders go, I think that if they would start to promote, you know, this known fact, you know, by all the scientists, the biggest, hugest scientists, most educated scientists in the world, none of them can debate this. So why isn't this something that's in our school books from the earliest years of entering into organized education? And with this little fact being left out of our upbringing, we cannot go to another land and see the people there as our brothers and sisters, because we haven't been taught that. So this is something that I'm keeping my mind focused on and that I'm wishing to talk to people about. So when I do go to Egypt or Russia or wherever, and the people who know me, they will view me as somebody who wishes to share a sense of brotherhood with all people, all men, all women. And until these world leaders start really promoting this to the people and start rewriting it into the school's educational system, we won't see it. So it's up to us to connect those dots, and you know, the Swiss with the French, and the French with the Russian, and there's so many different tribes and countries in Africa with even themselves. You know what I mean? Even in America, people see themselves as Americans first, but not as brothers and sisters, where this is total backwards way of bringing the world together. So that's what's up with Afu-Ra. And if I think if we could start to teach the children coming up now, in the next 50 years, they'll be 50 knowing that, hey, I'm brothers and sisters with every nation in the world. So the world will truly be ours, you know what I mean? And that's what's up, you know? Well, I mean, when you hear the New World Order, that's coming from people who are talking about really the world being as one, but not in the sense of brotherhood, in the sense of connecting everybody to really be truly manipulated by the nations that run our our local districts, to our cities, to our states, to our countries. The New World Order is about a global force to basically keep people in the darkness so that the world can be run and capitalistic ventures, capitalist societies can truly do their mission without people questioning so much what's going on in society. Basically, the New World Order is about truly keeping the population like sheep, you know, by feeding us with all the entertainment, feeding us with whatever byproducts in our food that shuts off certain brain activity. The New World Order is about why certain movies aren't allowed to be played here in Switzerland, but they can be played. The New World Order is regulating every nation's economy, or not necessarily the economy, but the inflation rates and how it's taxed. The New World Order is in control and seeing to it so that the future plays out where all nations will be keeping the people in darkness about the world is in total chaos and is in a state of destruction, and our minds together as people. The New World Order is about keeping us busy with everything in life except taking care of ourselves, whether it's eating the type of food that keep you electric, you know. They don't teach people that by eating live foods like fruits and vegetables, you constantly putting electricity in your body, you know. These are different things that they do what they have to do to keep people satisfied so that they don't want to stand up and change the world to a more I don't want to say peaceful, but yeah, we could say peaceful, but just so that people can be at peace with themselves. You know, I was talking to some guys and my girlfriend a couple of weeks ago. We in Italy, and it's like ever since the early 1900s with the first real industrial revolution, at least within America, as other nations adopted similar practices, industrializing the nation, producing more and more. Technology sent itself into just a rapid pace of technology. Is just over-technologized. How could I say that? Technology just advanced so much that people are behind themselves with what they doing. So with all of that, is like we created so much technology that we thought to help ourselves, but right now young people 13, 14, 15, they're being taught, do all these different things, go to school, get a good job, take care of your money, do everything so that you don't end up in a jam. And our whole life is to be lived to not be in a jam. And it's like, what kind of life is that? You know, and it's like people viewed people living in huts and living off the land with no clothes. We viewed them as uncivilized, when what we have now is not civilization. It's a technological world. You know, it is an intelligent world, but it's not wise. You know, so a lot of times people, you know, have to really question, like, you know, what's going on in the world and what is this world we live in. The New World Order, they have a job to do with keeping all these nations, the powerful nations, Europe, America, Canada, Africa, every huge nation in the world, you know, they have a job to see that the nation stays on top in the world financial scene, so that their country is able to feed everybody, or to have hospitals and have the infrastructure to have the running waters and everything. And the New World Order is a secret society within our society that makes rules, makes laws, and keeps the population like sheep so that everything can continue to function.
In 2005, an arrangement between Canada, Mexico, and the United States was made. This arrangement, unannounced to the public, unregulated by Congress, merges the United States, Mexico, and Canada into one entity, erasing all borders. It's called the North American Union, and you might want to ask yourself why you've never heard of this. In fact, there is only one mainstream reporter who has actually heard of and has had the courage to cover this issue.
The Bush administration's open borders policy and its decision to ignore the enforcement of this country's immigration laws is part of a broader agenda. President Bush signed a formal agreement that will end the United States as we know it, and he took the step without approval from either the U.S. Congress or the people of the United States.
It's a deal that few have even heard of.
It's being done again by very few people at the very top on behalf of the investment class, but the working class of people, political officials across our country, from communities, from cities and so forth, they don't know anything about this.
This isn't some trade agreement. It is a total removal of sovereignty from these countries, which will also result in a completely new currency called the Amero. The American Constitution will eventually be obsolete. You would think that a situation like this would be on the cover of every major newspaper. That is until you realize that the people who are behind this movement are the same people behind the mainstream media, and you are not told what you're not supposed to know. The North American Union is the same concept as the European Union, the African Union, and the soon-to-be Asian Union, and the same people are behind all of them. And, when the time is right, the North American Union, the European Union, the African Union, and the Asian Union will be merged together, forming the final stages of a plan these men have been working on for over 60 years. A one-world government. And if we have learned anything from history, it is that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is Aaron Russo, a filmmaker and former politician. To his left is Nicholas Rockefeller of the infamous Rockefeller banking and business dynasty. After maintaining a close friendship with Nicholas Rockefeller, Aaron eventually ended the relationship, appalled by what he had learned about the Rockefellers and their ambitions.
I got a call one day from an attorney woman I knew, and she said, "Would you like to meet one of the Rockefellers?" I said, "Sure, I'd love to." And we became friends, and he began to divulge a lot of things to me. So he said to me one night, he said that there's going to be an event there, and out of that event, you're going to see, we're going to go into Afghanistan, so we can run pipelines from the Caspian Sea. We're going to go into Iraq to take the oil and establish a base in the Middle East, and we're going to go into Venezuela and try and get rid of Chavez. And the first two they've accomplished. Chavez they didn't accomplish. And he said you're going to see guys going into caves looking for looking for people that they're never going to find. You know, he was laughing about the fact that you have this war on terror. There's no real enemy. He's talking about how by having this war on terror, you can never win it because it's an eternal war, and so you can always keep taking people's liberties away. And I said, how are you going to convince people that this war is real? He said, but the media can convince everybody it's real. I mean, you know, it's just that you keep talking about things, you keep saying it over and over and over again, and eventually people believe it. You know, you created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11, which is another lie. Through 9/11, you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie, and now they're going to do Iran. You know, and it's all one thing leading to another, leading to another, leading to another. Now, I would say, what are you doing this for? What's the point of this thing? You have all the money in the world you ever want. You have all the power. I said, you know, you're hurting people. It's not a good thing. And he would say, what do you care about the people for? Take care of yourself and you take care of your family. And then I said to him, what are the ultimate goals here? He said, the ultimate goal is to get everybody in this world chipped with the RFID chip, and have all money be on those chips and everything on those chips. And if anybody wants to protest what we do or violate what we want, we just turn off the chip.
Move to the jungle and live off fruits and berries, you know, then what you do play a part in what the New World Order is doing. But as long as you have an open mind to not being kept in the darkness about things, then we will learn to re-educate ourselves out of the education of the New World Order. And that's the only thing we can do, you know, and start to talk to people about brother and sisterhood. And in the end, if we don't come together and don't join an allegiance, you know, person to person, man to man, then our societies can't truly, you know, rule us, you know? We can't rule ourselves.
It's real ghetto like D. It's real ghetto like D.
Most vision right now that I have is to really connect myself with the world through my music, the new album, Voice of a Legend, and y'all can learn many things about that. Look out for the new Afu-Ra website coming out, Afu-Ra.com. We're like, you know, WeAreChange. We will talk about issues, have an issue, a sense of there are issues to be dealt with and talked about through me, through us, through the community. And I'm blessed that I have the music that allows me to build with people like yourself and people who will come and log on to the website. And yeah, definitely. Push my career, push my music, continue to push myself, and working on a new project called Afu-Ra TV. You can hit it on YouTube, where it's kind of an in-depth look at different things Afu-Ra's doing, where I'm at, getting ready for the show, or what I buy in the market. Many different aspects that people don't know about me, but at the same time, it could be interesting for them. And beside the music, they can see what Afu-Ra does, you know, day to day, traveling around the way with my boys, or here in Lenzburg in Switzerland, yeah, when I'm going to the gym, you know, different shit like that.
Nice, nice. Thank you for this important, uplifting interview.
That's what's up, that's what's up.
Bless you.
Thank you, merci for the mile. It's your boy Afu-Ra. Thanks to everybody out there. You know, it's been a pleasure right here. That's right. Keep watching right here. Afu-Ra style. Watch out!
Yeah. New visions right here. That's right. I go by the name of Body of the Life Force. Check this out. I like to do these things right here like, I keep it going and going and going. Yo, I'm straight rocking it, hit the block with it, chest boxing it. If I can't shoot it, I ox it. And I'm reppin' from Brooklyn, jewels in my pocket. Broke right out of my cage, I'm gonna rock it. You relax, high chill, yo, I got this. I bust a move 1-2, shell shocking it. Put words together, make me spackle it, tackle it. I'm well endowed, and my flow's quite accurate. I pull rabbits out my hat on some magic-ish. Presto change, yo, I do my thing, yo. 360